LA Weekly deemed Tyler, the Creator's sound garnered and hellish. His music is not for the faint of heart, is riddled with vulgar language, at times extremely homophobic. His sound is very gritty, his voice is deep, the tone of his song is often harsh.
That's the thing with our closed-minded people. They only get what's thrown at them or read the surface and won't go into details. I'm much more than that. The guy I want to be in like 10, 20 years. Everything I'm doing now is to be that dude. It's to own parks and gardens and building. I want success. I want to just make good music.
Do you want to be famous?
I just like making stuff. People don't even do things to enjoy it. They just want to put it on the internet just to feel some type of weird instant gratification.
I told you not to do that, all right?
That's what sucks with our generation. It's cameras everywhere. A lot of people don't let their imagination run free. No matter what, I'll be creating stuff. But people brain just interpret it whatever way they want it to, man.
Edgy new ad that has Pepsi apologizing right now. Critics call the online commercial for Mountain Dew racist.
It's being called the most racist commercial in history.
This is why I wish that brother had a father.
This is funny that the GOAT is trying to intimidate this poor woman who's been beaten up.
No more Tyler. Cut. That broke my spirit. I think everyone has that point in their life where they have to jump. I was like, am I gonna fly or am I gonna run? And I flew, and I have not landed yet. I just do me. I'm grateful that I have fans who like me, like my brain. When I'm on stage, I could just be myself, and they're all into it because they like me as a person. That's why they came to the show. Songs I wrote in my bedroom, and someone in freaking Norway knows the lyrics and it means something to them is crazy. People could relate to that. You know, everyone could wear a crown. You gotta build your own thing and trust in it. Maybe this fails. We're gonna figure it out and push this. I'm living a life that no one else really gets to live.
So how'd you get famous?
If you guys like these epic intros, let us know by hitting that like button right now. Now, Tyler, the Creator, he lived up to his name from a young age. He was creating magazines, songs, videos, and everything in between with the hopes of being seen by the masses. But his childhood, it was tough. Growing up without a dad and being into different things than his peers, well, it left him feeling like an outcast for most of his life. It wasn't until he met a special group of friends that he truly felt like he was a part of something bigger than himself. And his come up, well, it was through posting on forums, some love from a UK magazine, then ironically getting banned from the UK altogether, insane live shows, controversial lyrics, and of course, eating cockroaches. Well, that's what launched Tyler to fame. Now, can you guess what the roach from Tyler's Yonkers video was named? Stick around to find out. But more than anything else, you know, Tyler, he was able to be himself for a living. And, well, I guess we could all hope for a little bit of that. Now, Tyler, the Creator, he has slowly built himself into one of the most innovative and creative artists of this generation. He has embodied growth and the ability to change over time. And even more than that, well, he's been able to grow with his fan base. From his early days with Odd Future to creating the soundtrack for the new Grinch movie, well, Tyler has embodied what it's meant to be an artist. And his impact has stretched far beyond music. He's created his own brand, he has a clothing store, a yearly festival in LA, he's directed commercials, he has his own cartoon show. And the crazy part is, well, it feels like it's still only the beginning for Tyler, the Creator.
I just like making stuff, and rhyming words together in a rhythm is just one of those things.
And Tyler, he's even an amazing cook.
First off, oh my God, can you let me do what I need to do?
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden here for you before they're famous, documenting the life and career of Tyler, the Creator, this time hitting you with an epic version in honor of his new album and how far he's come in his career. Now, we've done other epics on Lil Uzi Vert and Beyonce, so be sure to check those out. And if you like these longer form styles, let us know by hitting that like button once again. Maybe hit it 3 times so you don't unlike the first one. Now, as always, you can let us know who we should cover next in the comments down below. Let's get into this video. And I can't believe the first time I did a video on Tyler, it was back in 2015. Time flies. Tyler Gregory Okonmo was born on March 6, 1991 in Los Angeles, California, although Tyler has adopted Boulder, Colorado as his second birthplace. He's even awarded himself the key to the city. And if you're wondering why Boulder?
What was it like growing up in these streets?
Sick. A lot of drugs, a lot of meth, hard time.
Tyler's father was completely absent in his life, leaving Tyler alone with his mother. Now his mother says that the two met once at 12 years old, but Tyler doesn't remember the interaction if it happened. He references his father in much of his music, most notably on the song Answer. But his mother, she played a larger role in his upbringing, and she's actually half Canadian, so shout out to her. Now his mom would play some jazz music around the house, which inspired Tyler to dive more into the genre later on. Tyler bounced between Ladera Heights and Hawthorne, California. He was always interested in creating things. At the age of 7, he was spending his birthday money on albums, and he would replace the album's artwork for his favorite CDs with artwork of his own imaginary albums. Now he would even include track lists and song lengths. I guess he was executive producing before he even made a full song on his own. But he would write down rhymes in his notebooks at that age. Now some of his early influences were the Black Eyed Peas, their first album, not sure if he means like their first album with Fergie or without her, also Eminem, Dr. Dre's 2001, and he claims to have even thought he was a young Usher at one point in time. Tyler was part of the gifted and talent enrichment program at his elementary school. He was one of 7 kids in the class, but it was also around that time that he saw a therapist for a short period of time. He told the New York Times, "I made lists of who I wanted to torture and kill in the class. I was a really smart kid, so they didn't understand. There was 7 kids in there, and I was one of them. It was just such a contradiction." At one point he was taking Ritalin, but it interfered with his asthma medication, so he stopped.
And not funny, I have horrible asthma, so it's...
You do?
Yeah.
But Tyler says that music became his true form of therapy. At the age of 12, he started to make beats. His mom's friend gave him a version of the production software called Reason, and he would experiment with different sounds. Originally, Tyler's mom, she signed him up to play basketball, but he hated it. Instead, he focused on skateboarding. He got his first skateboard at 12 and taught himself by watching Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, because no one else around him liked to skate. And his first board, it was a blind. Now after seeing Pharrell play the piano on DVD, well, Tyler was inspired to try it for himself, and at the age of 14, well, Tyler's mother bought him a keyboard. He taught himself how to play the piano and began his musical journey. At first, he only knew how to play with 4 fingers, but then he taught himself chords. He still can't read music, but when he first started, he learned how to play the first 8 bars of Outcast's She's Alive. And, well, he was pretty excited. He later taught himself the drums as well. Now Tyler attended 12 different schools in 12 years, bouncing between Los Angeles and Sacramento after his mother moved there. Now because of that, he didn't have many good friends growing up. And well, he was a class clown, always loving to make people laugh. But he always felt like he didn't fit in. I mean, he was listening to Good Charlotte and Kenny G, and he loves skateboarding. I guess, you know, makes him... Kenny G's a little weird.
7th grade, they used to f with me. I wore black Slipknot and Good Charlotte tees. They used to call me white boy, and I hated that shit. Like, why can't I just be a human?
But while he was an outcast in school, he was making music to express his thoughts. He didn't tell any of his classmates though, he would just post it online. Now during his senior year, one kid he went to school with, well, he came up to him and started rapping some of his lyrics. And Tyler described the situation as a little awkward. While Tyler's mom was in Sacramento, well, Tyler stayed in LA with his grandmother in Ladera Heights neighborhood. Now Ladera Heights is often referred to as the Black Beverly Hills. Even Frank Ocean, he references the nickname on his song, Sweet Life. But Tyler's time there was far from the sweet life portrayed on Frank's album. Now he was sleeping on his grandmother's couch with no money. Well, he actually said he slept on the floor.
If you like live in Ladera and any of your shit got f***ed up, it wasn't us.
It really wasn't.
No, like dead serious, it wasn't us.
It was around this time that he found a connection with some people who he had similar interests with outside of school, including Jasper, Taco, and Lucas. Those guys would even let Tyler stay at their place and cook for him when he had nothing to eat. Now he would occasionally steal things from cars and sell them at pawn shops just to go to McDonald's or to get something to eat. While in school, his jobs included working at FedEx for a week and 4 days and working at Starbucks for 2 years. That is, well, until he got fired.
Starbucks was cool because I stole cheese danishes every day. This lady named Cindy, she was a new manager, she hated on me, and she fired me, and I hope she's watching because I still hate her.
And while there may be a little bit of animosity towards Cindy, well, Tyler cites that the firing was the greatest thing to ever happen to him. Not only because he ate 3 more danishes on his last day before he got fired, but because it gave him more time to focus on his art. Now, at the time Tyler was posting his creative work onto MySpace, well, he actually had 3 different MySpace pages, but one of them, which included all of his creative thoughts and ideas, including sketches, videos, music, and more, well, it had the page name of Tyler the Creator. Then the page, it started to take off, but he just decided to stick with the name. And his graduation quote in his yearbook, well, it read, "Music is my life." Tyler attended community college in West Los Angeles where he was studying film, but he eventually dropped out to pursue his dreams on his own.
Like, I have friends going to college for stuff that their parents want them to go for, and they're not even happy or anything, but they're just trying to please them. And in the long run, like, I mean, what's gonna be there? Your parents die and you're just stuck there, like.
But things would all change in 2007 when Tyler co-founded the hip-hop collective Odd Future, which consisted of photographers, videographers, rappers, producers, and more than anything else, friends, all with a common goal to create something legendary. Now, at first, the name Odd Future was supposed to be a magazine that sponsored artists and covered all of his interests from skateboarding to art to colors. Yeah, colors. It was a concept that Tyler concocted in his sophomore year of high school, but after realizing that he didn't have the funds to create a magazine, he pocketed the idea. It was him, Left Brain, and Haji Beats originally, and he told Respect Mag in 2011 in an interview, "I like keeping shit in-house. I wanted my friends to be the ones taking the pictures of the people I'd interview, which were my friends who were skateboarders. I'd make advertisements to go in there instead of getting ads from some clothing line." The group would record a taco in his sister Sid's house. Now, Sid currently has a successful career as a member of the internet and as a solo singer. They had a nice place and their parents were very supportive of their art. So the crew, they would hang out there and create. They were sending their music to hip-hop blogs at the time, but no one was really responding very positively. Although today, being eccentric or different in the way you dress, make music videos, or rapped, well, it's almost encouraged. And it's become the norm. Now, at the time that Odd Future was bubbling, well, things were different. Besides Lupe Fiasco's Kick Push, skateboarding and hip-hop wasn't a blend that you would find in the mainstream rap world. Now, the group was ready to return to school following the summer and follow their dreams as a side passion project. That was until UK-based magazine The Wire, well, they got a hold of their music. The magazine wrote a feature for their September issue, and from there, well, the press kept flying. Then Fader wrote about them, then MTV came along.
Greatness to me is finally getting my video on MTV. It's on there now, and I'm happy. I finally got my shit on MTV.
Hypebeast was a huge original supporter as well after Tyler began posting on their forums. Now, he credits their early support as a big reason why they were able to gain attention. But not all of the press was positive. While many raved about the creativity and new concepts explored by Tyler and the crew, many others were shocked by the content of their lyrics and videos. The New York Times put it nicely when they said in an article about Odd Future, "No act in recent memory has engendered so many think pieces about music. Think pieces about critics and think pieces about think pieces. Are the group's lyrics reports of literal desires? The goofs of misguided kids? Does the difference matter?"
My lyrics aren't, I don't know, I'm sorry if I keep talking, my lyrics aren't offensive.
Aren't they?
No.
Some people find them offensive, don't they?
Yeah, some people find everything offensive.
There were lyrics that were taken to be homophobic and violent against women, receiving similar backlash to Eminem when he first came out. In 2008, they released their first project, the Odd Future Tape, online. And well, they started to build a die-hard fan base. Now, a year later, Tyler, he began his solo endeavors with the game-changing mixtape Bastard. He produced 80% of the album using the Fruity Loops production software. But it was the video for Yonkers that had Tyler's name all over the internet for one reason or another. Whether it was the infectious beat, the wild rhymes about stabbing Bruno Mars in the esophagus, or the roach that he was eating. Something about that video, well, it caught your attention. It now has more than 112 million views on YouTube. Also, fun fact, well, the cockroach's name in the video, it was Nissan. Yeah, that's the question, from off the top. Now, this music video, it really sent the already buzzing artist into a new stratosphere. He won Best New Artist at the 2011 MTV Video Music Awards. After releasing the video, he signed a one-album deal with British independent label called XL Recordings. The single was part of his debut studio album, Goblin, which was released under the label. And that year, he also made his late-night television debut on Jimmy Fallon. Now, that year, he also debuted a show he had been working on with his team called Loiter Squad.
Tyler here. Loiter Squad, Season 2.
The official show premiered on Adult Swim on March of 2012, and had appearances from everyone from Lil Wayne to Seth Rogen. Now Tyler's career after Goblin has been all about progression of sound, style, and self. After killing his guest verses on songs with Pusha T in The Game, well, his next studio release was Wolf, and that was in 2013. Now this time the album was released through Sony and Red Distribution, and it was some of Tyler's most honest and complete work yet. In fact, it even turned many people who weren't fans of his previous work into believers. You got what I said. Now the album, it sold 90,000 copies in its first week and debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 charts. Following that, he released his album, Cherry Bomb, which included features from Lil Wayne and Kanye, and some experimental yet very musically heavy productions from Tyler. But while everything seemed to be going well for Tyler, he announced that he was actually banned from the UK for 3 to 5 years. He was forced to cancel his string of tour dates supporting Cherry Bomb. Now the ban allegedly happened because of some of the old song lyrics dating back to 2009. But the ban from overseas, it didn't slow down his momentum. He kept creating. He has stated that November of 2016 was the best time of his life, and referenced this time on his song November, where he asked fans what their November was. Now I'd only say my November, it's definitely in 2016. It's when this channel first took off. In August we hit 1 million subs, probably around then. Now for Tyler, it was that November when he rented a house with his friends, and they would record and hang out and just have fun. Tyler debuted his show Nuts Plus Bolts on Viceland in 2017, and his album Flower Boy, it was released the same year to an extremely positive critical and fan reception. Now the album, it was even nominated for Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys. Now Tyler, he didn't drink at all in high school and said that he wouldn't have a drink until Grammys night. Well, I hope he at least had a sip because, well, the kid deserved it. The album did stir up some extra media attention as well. Because of the album, Tyler hinted at potential relationships with men. And while coming from someone who previously accused of being homophobic, well, people were pretty curious. Plus, old interview clips like this, well, they started to have new meaning.
You think we'll ever have a gay rap artist?
Maybe one day. That would be, but that's like, why does that shit matter?
I know.
Like, if he wanna dudes or whatever, why does that matter? Like, why do we care?
I've never figured that out.
That's so crazy, right?
But like Tyler said there, it's really nobody's business except for his own. Currently, Tyler is continuing to push himself creatively in all avenues of his life. He is about to release his new album, Igor. He has his flagship store on Fairfax in LA. He runs a yearly festival that has had big name acts like Kanye and Chance the Rapper perform at. And he is continuing to excel in all avenues, from directing to soundtracks to films. And well, we have a feeling that whatever Tyler puts his hands on, well, it'll turn into gold. As for the rest of the story, well, I think it's a good time to wrap this one up, because this, of course, is Before They Are Famous. Epic edition. My name, of course, is Michael McCrudden. That was a long video. Starting to sweat my balls off. Tyler, we hope you enjoyed this one. It is a tribute to you, my friend, and all your success. And I'll see you guys in another video. Okay, bye. Boom! 2 more right here. Click on them. Subscribe.